Here is what I wish I knew for my own weight loss in 2008. This is unscripted, off the cuff. Let's get into it. So the first thing that I wish I knew for my weight loss back in 2008 was that not everyone is going to be happy for you, including people who are like your family, your friends, your peers, maybe even somebody that you're dating or something like that. They are not all going to be happy for you, and they're not all going to understand. And you have to just be okay with that and accept it and move on and continue what you're going to do. You're going to have people drop out of your life that were not meant to be around you long term, and that's okay too. You're evolving. You're always going to be evolving. And I had to learn this the hard way, that I just didn't really know how people were going to receive it. I knew what I had to do to take charge of my health and fitness, but I was so young. I did not know what was going to happen. I didn't know how people were going to perceive it. And there are going to be people who are jealous of you. They're going to be jealous of not just your physical well-being, but also the fact that you took charge and they themselves can't find it within themselves to do that. So they're going to be jealous of your motivation and your discipline, including people years down the road. I've had people who I have encountered decades after I lost weight and have maintained my health and fitness habits, and they were jealous, and it completely blew my mind. It was like, what the hell? Like, we're all adults here. Why the hell would you be like that? But that is just the reality. It goes in other aspects. Like, if you have a really amazing marriage, there's going to be people who want what you have and they're going to be jealous. No different than if you have a 7-figure business. There's going to be people who want a 7-figure business, and instead of asking you, how did you do it? Or can I pay you money to help me? They're going to choose to be jealous, and that's how they're going to react and treat you. So I had to learn that the very, very hard way and navigate that all by myself as a teenager and as a young adult, and continuing into the end part of my 20s. It does get easier. That is my best advice. It does get easier because it does kind of suck in the beginning, and it may always suck for you, but I've gotten to that point now where it just doesn't suck anymore. You kind of know this is just what it's going to be, and you're just, all right, end of story, right? But in the beginning, it's kind of like, oh, damn, like, really? Like, that's the person that's going to be that way towards me, and you're not expecting it, and it does kind of suck because you're expecting them to be happy for you, and they're not. So that part does kind of take you aback for a hot minute or two, and maybe a day or two, and then you get on with your life. But it gets so much easier. It also gets easier to put boundaries in place, like who you want in your life, who you don't want in your life. A lot of the time, my clientele, before they work with me, they're people pleasers. Like I used to be when I was a sugar addict, and I just know how to put boundaries in place, right? Like if I have to get shit done, I have no problem telling somebody I have to get shit done. It's not hurting their feelings. It's not about that. It's not about being an asshole or a dick. It's about making sure you can actually get the shit done that you need to get done, so you can put your best foot forward. It's not being mean. It's not about being mean or anything like that. But a lot of times people have problems staying consistent because they feel like they have to always be around that one person or a group of people, or they have to take them up on every single offer that to go out to eat or something like that. And that's not always the case. It's not about don't live your life or be a dick. No, it's about making sure you have your boundaries in place, and you know when it is time for you to get shit done, and when you can go do whatever the hell you want to do to have fun, or even if it's by yourself. Another thing I wish I knew is that the fitness industry, as it stands, does not evolve very quickly at all. I have not seen much growth in the fitness industry since I started my weight loss and accomplished that and have maintained it since. If you want to be a groundbreaker, you have to do it yourself. That's just the reality. And there's still the same gimmicks out there that were around when I was sifting through the noise and everything. And that's sad and pathetic. And you can't expect yourself out of an industry or out of a area of expertise. So I had to literally be the groundbreaker and create my company on my own LLC, not MLM or anything like that, and just be that groundbreaking person that shakes things up and gets shit done for people and honestly truly helps them without the gimmicks and stuff like that. And in the early 2010s, I mean, I was searching for like, do I go with this or that or what have you? And it was just like it was a lot to take in, and there was really no one right place that I felt comfortable putting my brand on because of the gimmicky crap. So I had to just go off and form my own company. But you'll find that whether you decide to pursue a career in fitness or not, you never know. I never knew that I was going to be an expert in this area. I mean, I struggled with it for 8.5 years. So if you had told me this 16 years ago, I would have looked at you like, you're crazy. So you just never know. You never know if you want to go on and be a Peloton instructor or a weightlifting coach or whatever, or an athletic performance person or whatever. You have no idea what's going to happen in the next 5 to 10, 15 years. So just be ready for the ride. You're always going to be evolving your fitness, right? So you're going to know, your body and your mind's going to know when it's ready for that next level, and you're going to put yourself in those positions to make it happen. That's really, really cool. There's really cool shit like the 1,000-pound club. I never thought back in the day that I would even be interested in something like that, right? Because I was a kickboxer for a really long time and I enjoyed it. And then I did long distance athletics and taught Zumba and stuff. So I had no idea that I would really find my jam with weightlifting. But I did, got 1,000-pound club with two lifts instead of the traditional 3. So you're going to continue to surprise yourself, and sometimes it's honestly just the best way to go, where you're not just necessarily trying to control everything that's going on. It's easier said than done. And I'm going to leave it off with another point, is that skin, loose skin. Nobody told me about this. So I'm telling it to you that there's nothing wrong with you if you have some loose skin. Here is the kicker. There are people who lose a ton of weight, even more than I did, and they have to get it surgically removed to prevent infections and stuff like that. That's not cheating. That's not cheating if that's you. You have done the work. You have put so much effort in. Do not feel like you have to risk your well-being just to say that you've never had a surgery for anything. No. A lot of people who lose weight naturally have to get loose skin removal. I have had clients who have had to get loose skin removal after they have worked with me and lost weight and figured that out, and they have maintained it. They haven't relapsed. I'm not saying that just because you go get skin removed, you're going to relapse. That's a myth. That doesn't necessarily happen for people, so don't be afraid of that. Do what you need to do to be healthy and happy. I don't want you sitting there trying to stuff 20 pounds of skin into your jeans and be in pain and have it get infected and stuff like that. That's no way to live, and I don't want you to feel like you have to suffer even after you have lost the weight. That is something that I never ever heard anywhere in fitness, that there was skin. And I'm going to be honest, it did kind of mess with me a little bit. Mine is not enough per se to get surgically removed. If I wanted to, I could. It's not like a medical necessity per se, but it did kind of mess with me a little bit in the early stages because I thought it was still fat. And it just really kind of threw me for this loop for a couple months until I dug into the research more and I discovered, oh, there's people just like me. I came across a blog article about this guy who's a young adult, and he lost like 60, 70 pounds, which is kind of sort of near where I was with the 50. And he was talking about how it looks like he had just had a baby and he was a male, and it was the skin and how it threw him for a loop. So And then I dug into more detail, and I started seeing these before and afters with these skin removals and stuff from people who had not had weight loss surgery. Okay, so we're still talking about natural weight loss here, and they still needed to have those surgeries done. So it was really interesting and eye-opening, and I wish more people in fitness talked about it, particularly in the weight loss space. You can't spot reduce it, okay? That's also a myth. You can't do like a skin wrap or something like that and have it spot reduced. That if you have a significant amount of skin, the only way you can resolve it is to get it surgically removed. And I don't want you to think it's cheating. I don't want you to get all axle wrapped about it. You've put the work in, you have transformed your life, and it is time to live it and feel comfortable in your own skin and not have to worry about skin infections if that's you. So, and on that note, that is a huge one. That last one, that is